Okay, without putting the heating on in the morning, good morning by the way, without putting the heating on in the morning, I have received a 100% charge, which is always shown anyway online, but 83 miles. So it is putting the heating on in the morning just for, 5 minutes if I'm honest, because I put it on at 8:32 and we leave about 5 minutes after that. It's taking out 1 to 2% of the battery, so I'm not going to do that anymore in the morning. Drive to school with the heating off, and probably just then drive on to work. It's only 5 minutes with heating off, and we'll see what the battery is once I get to work. Also worth mentioning the fact that the timer worked. So I set up the timer in the car wings to say come on at 12 o'clock. If you remember yesterday, if you watched yesterday's episode, come on at 12 o'clock and then charge up. Yesterday I had 4.5 hours charge remaining. It was the first time I've ever let the charger kick in automatically. I've always been too worried to trust it because I didn't want to wake up in the morning because I've always been low on battery. I could risk it yesterday as a bit of a test, obviously presuming it did work, but with my current experience I didn't trust it 100%. So I only have 4.5 hours charge remaining to charge the whole thing up to 100%, so I could have easily got to work and back again, no problem at all. So I let it kick in, and it did. And it's come down this morning at 6 o'clock, 6:30, and all charged up. So the timing system worked flawlessly, so I should use that again tonight, regardless of charge status, unless it takes me over the... It takes like 10 hours to charge up or something, then obviously I won't be doing that. But yeah, if it's the same battery percentage again, I shall let the automatic charging kick in, because it worked successfully last night.
Right, okie dokie, filming on a GoPro actually now, because my iPhone's run out because I forgot the cable. Right, so there we have it, full charge. Full charge, 4 degrees C, all good to go. Same route again, going to school with children in tow, and then off to work. Okie dokie. We'll report back once I get to work to see how much miles is used up in 6 miles, see how much energy is used. Okay, we've gone down to 98%, and I don't think we've travelled a mile yet, so we've lost 2% on the initial set off. No bars on the battery have gone, but the percentage is 97%. I don't think we've done a mile, so it's 3% lost in less than a mile. I presume it's because it's a cold start. We've actually got the heating and everything off, but it is misting up in here quite considerably, and you can see that it's cold. Is it cold? You have to wear a coat. So we've actually got the windows open, and we're going to see if we can keep it as best we can. So there we go, got a bit of regen going down.
Until it changes. It's going to change in a minute.
Interestingly, the regen, I can't get it to regen as much. So I put my foot on the brake now, the regen bars are not changing. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's 4 degrees C. I'm led to believe it's something to do when it's cold, but yeah, the regen is not really regenning. It's on eco. Thus, the brake's almost full on, and I'm getting nothing, which is different. I've never seen that before. And I've been in temperatures like this before, so I'm not sure what that's all about, but there we go. Ooh, some bumps in this road. Yeah, so driving along, just a quick one. Then we travelled a mile now, maybe 2 miles. We got down to 95%. But the thing with keeping the heating off is not really doable unless you're starting to get a little bit dangerous in terms of it fogging up. You could put the windows down, which is the only way, of course, you can ventilate without a fan. But the issue with that is, one, if it rains, you've got rain coming in, and it also sort of drips off the roof into the car as well on certain angles. So it's not, you can't really do it consistently. I mean, the main problem for fogging up, of course, is like if, like me, your car's outside, you got moisture on your shoes from walking out, and of course all the boys have. And that's it's trying to dry that out. Of course, as that warms up, it mists up, and then just general breathing and blah blah blah. If you've got wet hair, if you wash your hair in the morning, something like that, it fogs up pretty quick inside the vehicle, So really, I'm going to drive to work today with no heating on, just for test purposes, to see what percentage I've got after the 6 mile journey. But otherwise, it's not really doable in winter as such. If it's wet, basically, I suppose if it's dry and cold, that's not going to matter too much. It's still missed up a little bit, but when you've got wet feet and you get in the car, the mats get slightly wet, and you have to keep the windows up. It's not really doable, not safely anyway. Okay, the Regen is now kicked into how it was always performing. The battery temperature still displays the same. There's no differences there. It's all exactly the same. I've obviously done. It must be warmed up a little bit, but the battery still says 4 bars. But it's sort of just kicked in and performing how it always has done. So, not sure what that was about. I presume it's to do with low temperature, but still 4 degrees C. And the battery bar temperature is the same, but perhaps there was a slight fluctuation or something. So just before I arrive at work, I'll give you a quick tour around the car with the windows slightly open, left-hand window slightly open. One observation is it only missed up. It only missed up on the front windscreen, which is interesting. Now, I happen to run a business where I do sell, not as a main product, but as a side product, some anti-fogging agents, so I shall test those out and do a video on those. Okay, I arrived at work. It's 90% with 73 miles decimeter and 316 on the actual mileage counter. So I think it's left at 311. So yeah, probably 310 we left. So it's a 6 mile journey, as we proved the other day. So I shall compare that with the previous videos to see what it was yesterday when I arrived at work using the heating, and I think I was probably on eco anyway, but yeah, that's with the heating off basically. We'll see what the difference is over that 6 mile journey.
Okay, at work, look what has arrived. EV connectors. I've delivered a cable. Now, I had a phone call yesterday to tell me that, very sorry, but we don't have the 16 amp version in, but we can send you the 30 amp version at no extra cost. Does the same job, except I suppose if someone with a 30 amp wanted to borrow it when I was in a charging station, they very well could. So excellent stuff, all sorted. The cable has arrived, so I shall unwrap it and show you what it looks like. Okay, there she is, the cable. Now, one thing's for sure, it is high quality, it feels high quality, but as explained to me when I was gasping at the price, it's the copper that's a big part of the expense. Not saying you couldn't get them made up for less than what you pay for them retail, but there's a cost to everything, isn't there? And it's longer than 3 meters, which is good. So only just, but it's not like they're being stingy on the length, because it's not even straight to the measure. So it's over 3 meters for measuring it like this. So yeah, it's only slightly, about an inch probably, but yep. So all in order, as ordered. I ordered orange. I'm not sure if that was a good idea. You can't even pick, the camera's not even picking that up properly. It's very, very, very bright orange. Quality of this is, it feels far superior than the standard trickle charger. It's more solid, nice big metal part at the top. Feels very, very good, very, very solid. And there's the 2 connectors. So obviously this one goes into the car, and this one goes into the public charge station. There we go. Interesting point that came up was the fact it's bright orange, and at least you can see it. But a colleague came up with the idea that yes, you can see it, but so can other people. And anybody looking for a quick £100 is likely to smash your boot or your back window, climb through and nick the cable because of the copper content in it. So it'd be good to know what the real copper content is, because if people nicking copper, you know, if it's not £100 and it's £20, that's a bit different. But if it truly is £100, I think there's a theft aspect there that you need to be aware of,
because it's easy money, basically. No cost to them to smash the window, take the thing out, take a few seconds. It's like putting a laptop in the back of your car. You don't do that anymore because people kept smashing the back of your windows and nicking your laptops. Different value, I agree, but it's a similar sort of thing. But they're so few and far between now that no one knows about it at the moment. But is it a potential problem for the future? Maybe, unless the value drops down, but it's not going to because it's copper. So I've just realised, even though I've got the cable, I can't really actually use it yet. I know I can use it in Asda because they give me a card for it. But if I want to travel with the Nissan Colford, I don't know which card it is. So I'm half thinking just go in there and trying to use the one I got from Asda, but it's not on the map. It's not on the Ecotricity map. And it's not on the Charge Midlands, or Plugged In Midlands as it's called, map. And not only that, there's all these companies vying to get the charge points in. So they're all different. They're all different cards. Which makes it very confusing. There's one 10 miles away, which I wouldn't dare travel to because I don't know what card it uses. So I presume I have to ring them. Unless it's a 24-hour helpline. That doesn't really help me. So I'll have to ring them in the day to make sure first before we get there. And I think that's okay for planning ahead, a couple of days ahead. But if you suddenly find yourself in an emergency, I suppose argument is you shouldn't put yourself in that situation, I suppose. But these things happen. You run low on fuel, you run low on electric, so it happens. So the card thing is a bit confusing. I've got one already. I know I can use in Asda. I presume I need to get another one called Plugged In Midlands, which is £24 a year to join up, I think. And then I need to get an Ecotricity card, which I ordered on Friday. It could take 14 days to arrive. You can't apply for those cards early. The Ecotricity you can't, I know. I don't know if it's the same with the rest of them, but you need to know your reg number. I didn't get my reg number until it arrived on the ground right here. That's the first time I have a reg number, so I could pre-plan nothing. Or pre-order anything, should I say. So yeah, cards. I think you need a lot of them, and you need to know exactly who they are at the time. I can't see any clear advice on that at all. I haven't found it yet. I'm bound to be a list somewhere telling you exactly where all the charges are. Surely someone's put one together and telling you who the manufacturers are or the scheme are, so you know which card to use. Because at the moment I don't know which card to use anywhere apart from the Asda one. I'm going to travel to Colford because it's so local and test it out to see if that one I got from Asda works with the charge station there. If not, I'll do it in opening hours. Luckily, I can go and ask the Nissan staff what card I need. Interesting. It's actually showing it as Wessex Garages. Stupid thing won't focus. It's actually showing Wessex Garages, Gloucester, as Plugged In Midlands. Whereas they told me that it was a Nissan Pacific one that they only had the card for and you couldn't get a card. So I shall get a card and I can travel to both those places. There are actually quite a few useful spots around or within my vicinity, so I shall definitely get one of these cards. I'll find out about the membership, see if it's lifetime or yearly. So I've come across this one which is local to me. I've actually rung the supplier contacts the other day because it was a local charging point. When I first got the car thinking, oh dear, I can't charge at Colford, I wonder if I can go to another one. But they didn't know anything about it, who ran the scheme or anything, so they were useless. They said it's there, they think it works, but they couldn't actually help me with who it was. Well, this turns out it's Plugged In Midlands. And they're saying to use the point you do need a card, which is their card. It's very helpful. And they're saying join today, so I shall join today. But I think there's a charge. Yeah, £20 plus VAT. As a member, you receive the following payment gives you a payment on account. So I'll find out if that's for 12 months or not, or it's a lifetime membership, because that's quite important. Okay, leaving work. My boy's got football today at 4:45, so I've got to travel from here to Lydney, which is going to be interesting. I'll see how many miles that is. I'll just set that up now. I've got to go home, pick him up, and then go on to Lydney. I'm not going to be driving along with the heating off because it's 3 degrees and I refuse to. Okay, we're looking at a total of 13 miles apparently until we get to Lydney. So 30 miles there, 13 miles back, 26 miles in total in temperature 3 degrees. I haven't really done anything, I've just sat here and it's gone down to 89, which is interesting, isn't it? So yeah, I'm now going to put the heating on. That's when it drops, so I'll get moving because it's obviously doing work now. Handbrake is on, but that light isn't on. It's one of those things. So I've got the handbrake off now. And so, yes. Rear view camera on the car. It's okay. It's got its flaws. Like, my dad's got a Kia, a new model. And it suffers the same problem, the rear view camera, in the fact that it gets dirty, so you can't see it clearly because it's right at the back obviously, and then all the mud flies up and gets dirty, so you have to clean it all the time
at the end of the road,
if you want it to work properly. So
at the end of the road,
yeah,
left.
But it does work fairly well. Gives you a vague idea. It stopped me running over my boy yesterday anyway, so it's got its benefits. Auto wipers. Now there's a thing. I used to have a Ford Transit, which I briefly mentioned before, I think, in another episode, and it was a bit similar to this. These aren't quite as good, as in they're not that brilliant. They're okay if you're going along a motorway. It wasn't an optional extra I chose, so I think it just comes with it anyway, so I'm not really complaining that much. But it can't cope with drizzle, so that's off. I can push it up to make it work, and I've put it on auto now. What'll happen is it'll slowly forget that it's raining. So if you're doing a slower speed, it won't clear this. So now it's, you can see it's building up, and it gets to a stage, and then it sort of forgets that that is actually water at some point. So it gets progressively worse as it goes on. So yeah, they're not brilliant, but for high-speed driving and stuff like that, which we're not going to do a lot of on the Leaf, they're it's actually quite good. But, yeah, it's just an observation. They're a bit like the same. If you start the car up and it's left on auto, it must calibrate or something, and it doesn't recognise the rate on the screen, so you have to actually set it off. So, but it's just a quick observation. Probably the same across many models of cars. So all owners can say the same about their auto wipers. But it's a nice to have. So. Right, well, it's daytime, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to film the hill I got to go up. Except for it gets really misty in this car, so I shall try to put the window down. So that's the valley. You get vans and stuff trailing up here. That's quite steep. Get some height quite quickly. We'll get a bit of better perspective now. We've got a ledge over there. It's quite high. But this car does get mighty fogged up. And I noticed that. I took a VW Up out as a courtesy car. I was getting my wife a Touran, and it just fogs up. You have to have the air conditioning on these modern cars for some reason. So they're so well insulated, so well airtight. I guess, I don't know, but they just fog up. No aircon, you get fog. So, well, you're going to definitely get it in this weather. I mean, I took it out and it was nice and sunny in the Up. This was months ago, so a bit better weather then. But then you get to the top of this hill, and you flatten out. It's all good. I mean, that for auto wipers is hopeless. There we go, finally. I thought I'd try and capture it as quick as possible. It keeps doing it, and I try and film it, and it wipes it. But it was like that for... I was trying to leave it as long as I could to see when it comes on. It's probably like about 30 seconds.
Time left.
It's very strange. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's just doesn't clear the windscreen. So I'm going to try and find out exactly how it works. I'll probably contact Nissan and ask them. We'll see how long it goes now. I'll film this one. This is
Continue on
just
the current
there we go. It's working fine now. See,
400 yards,
I think it's at very slow speeds. It either doesn't work at all, or I'm not sure. Don't know. I shall find out. I know nothing about it, so I shall try and find out the answer to that for you guys. We are home with 80%. had the air conditioning and the heating on. So, okay. Don't know why the iPhone blinks purple like that sometimes. Something's interfering in this car with the iPhone, which is interesting. Probably telecommunications or something odd. What's that, Toby?
It's an electricity car.
An ecotricity card?
Yeah.
Wow. It's arrived. Ordered Friday. Arrived Wednesday. Very good service. Excellent. We shall open that in a bit and see what that's all about. Football first, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Running late as usual.
Then we'll tell you when we're going to open it.
Yep. Okie dokie. Bye.
Bye.
Just to highlight what the camera gets like, so you can hardly see anything out of that because it's so dirty, which is a bit of a shame. I might even try some anti-fog stuff on that because it's water repellent, so I'll try that out as well and test that and let you know how it goes. Okay, home sweet home again. I drove that pretty hard on the way back from Lydney, so it's done pretty well really. 2 degrees C now. I've had the aircon on, I've had everything on because it's raining outside when I'm playing football, and without it on it would be completely steamed up, but as it is, it's nice and crispy and toasty in here and there is no fogging at all. Aircon doing a good job. Bags of battery left, so not a problem at all, not a problem. So the good thing is I could even do it back down to Newark where my parents live now. I've still got enough mileage on that. They are also getting a free charger installed, so that's quite good. Excellent. I think that's it for today. I may just do a quick one when it's plugged in. My wife's going out at the moment and her car's in the way, but when it's plugged in, just to see what charge time is remaining at this sort of percentage, battery percentage, so you've got some sort of idea. I mean, this is probably going to be a typical, for me, sorry, it's going to be my typical sort of battery percentage, sort of 40-50% when I get home. Okay, I'm having to record with my Samsung because iPhone, haven't got the cable again. Picked it up to take it and I forgot it for some reason. So here it is, terrible quality, nothing like the iPhone, but you can see the actual charge. That's where it's at. The only thing, it gives me opportunity to show the iPhone app at the same time. As you can see, 9 hours 30 to charge up. 9 hour 30 is on a trickle charge. So that will be good. It is actually charging. Update, shall we? Are you sure you want to update? Okay. And that will then update. At the same time, you can refresh the app and it will do it. And the iPhone app says your request has been sent. You go back here. That will actually pop back in a minute and update it. And on the computer you can see that bar is flashing, which means it is. That's better. Oh no, it's got worse again. It is actually charging. So similar, except from the only difference is with the desktop app, it does not let you see, not as far as I can see, unless it is there somewhere. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't tell you the time remaining. Whereas the iPhone one does, a nice big thing that estimates the time remaining, so it's very, very good. This should actually be coming back. There we go. It's come back now. Good. You don't have to wait too long then. Press OK, and then it shows you that it's actually charging. Not sure if I can actually get it to behave itself, but no, it's not very good on focusing that. But now it's charging. Oh, it does at the bottom there. It's flashing up and down. It's charging. Estimated driving range is 29 miles, so I'm going to trickle charge it. I'm probably going to pop back to work to go and get the cable, to be honest. It's a free journey after all. It's one of the beauties of having a Nissan Leaf, everyone. Something like that doesn't really matter, it's just a bit of time out, but I need to wait for my wife to come back. And then I can pop out and get it and upload this video for you guys. Not as good quality, I'm sorry about that, but I seem to have run out of devices to film on. So yeah, good day. Did a few more miles than yesterday. Went to Lydney, so it's another extra, probably 8 each way, another 16, 17 miles. I absolutely hammered it back. Got real good fun in the car. Yeah, one thing I have to say, it's a really, really good fun car to drive. If you know you haven't got to do the miles, you
can drive it pretty hard, even in this weather, and it looks about you'll probably get 45, 50 miles out of it, but I've never tested it like that. I will do a day where I dedicate it to just driving like an ordinary petrol car, just slamming your foot down, not giving a care in the world about how much you're actually wasting. So I'll do that because it won't actually cost any more apart from my amount of mileage. So I'll try and pick a day which is suitable and I'll just take it on a journey. It'll probably be a weekend, to be honest. I'll just go out on it and I'll try and get to a rapid charge. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll drive it around the Gloucester sort of way and I'll get it to my closest rapid charge as it comes to its end of its life, and see what it takes to actually make it deplete, because I haven't done that yet. There's loads of stuff I haven't done that I will do, and I'm trying to make these videos bits of nuggets of information and useful to everyone really. I don't want to be boring people. I know some of it's boring, some of it's exciting, maybe not. None of it's exciting, but it should be informative. So yeah, I will catch you guys in tomorrow's episode. Okay, there's the Ecotricity card that we got here. Let's try and get this old. There we are. Drive like the wind, electric highway. I'm very, very impressed with this. Number one, it was free. Okay, these things cost money to produce, and the chargers obviously cost a fortune. Implementing them, all the work that goes behind. Excuse me. All the work that goes behind it is immense, and I'm really, really impressed. For instance, our local one, which is sort of, I think, done by the government, I have to pay 20 quid for. It's the one I did earlier today, and those charge points are pretty much not very relevant to me at all, or most users. But this one, Ecotricity, I'm not going to comment, I'm not going to pass judgment yet on the other one I just bought, but I will see how good it really is. I don't think they got many rapid charge points. Now, this Ecotricity one is very, very good. Obviously, I haven't used any of their facilities yet, but their turnaround time is very impressive, and if that's a sign of the efficient service they're going to offer, that is pretty good. And obviously, I'll let you guys know how I get on with that. Everyone else seems to be getting on with it, so very, very good. Should be able to use their things, and it all comes from the interesting note here is all the power for our electric highways comes from the elements, from the wind and the sun. We think this is the beginning of a real revolution, and you're part of it. I like that line. That's brilliant. And thank you very much for Ecotricity for sending this card out. Ordered it Friday evening, and it's Wednesday today, so it's taken 2 days. They posted it yesterday, I think. It's taken no time at all. It was sent out first class, 28th of the 1st. It was sent out. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant turnaround. Very impressed. Thank you very much, and I hope to enjoy using it.